When we see exceptional performers in any field of human endeavor, be it science, arts, music, sports, or spirituality, we wonder whether they were born with that talent and gift, or did they develop it as the result of years of dedicated practice. On the topic of gifted people, the first name that comes to mind to most is that of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, who at the age of 4 was proficient in many musical instruments, and at the age of 7 undertook a tour of Europe that etched his name in the minds of people as an all-time legend in music. Mozart had another trick up his sleeve. When he heard a sound, he could immediately identify the musical note without the need for a reference sound. This ability to identify notes and chords merely on hearing without a reference scale is called absolute pitch. 1 out of 10,000 people around the world have the ability for absolute pitch. It is said either you are born with it, your brain is configured for it, or it is not. However, one music teacher in Japan in the year 2012 set about debunking this theory. Her name was Ayako Sakakibara of the Ichionkai Music School. She gathered 24 students between the ages of 2 and 6. They were subjected to training sessions of 2 to 5 minutes, 4 to 5 times a day for a period of 57 weeks. By the end of it, 22 of them had developed perfect pitch. The 2 who did not were the ones who had voluntarily dropped out of the program. Now, these results are astonishing. On the one hand, 1 out of 10,000 people have the talent for perfect pitch, which it's believed you are born with. On the other hand, 22 out of 24 of the children of Ayako Sakakibara's school develop perfect pitch. How does this tie up with Mozart's story? There is more to it than is often told. His father, Leopold Mozart, was himself a musician with great ambitions which he could not fulfill. So he projected his aspirations onto his children. His elder child, a daughter called Maria Anna, it is said of her that at the age of 11, her proficiency in music matched that of professional musicians. From her, Leopold Mozart probably learned how to teach children better. In fact, he even wrote a book on teaching music to the little ones. The consequence was that by the time Mozart was 7 years old, he had received 1,000 times more practice and instruction in music than the children of the Ichionkai Music School. That goes to prove that the human brain is immensely teachable. It doesn't mean that we all can become Einstein, but we can become far better than we are. This brain of ours, as we grow, keeps on increasing its gray matter and packing more neurons till the age of 14. After that, the number of neurons doesn't increase, but the synapses between the neurons remain till the end. Hence, the opportunity for learning continues even in old age. A blazing example of that was Peter Drucker, who is widely considered the father of modern management. He had the practice of learning a new subject every 3 years, and he sustained this practice into his 90s. Now, little children between the age of 2 and 6 have 50% more synapses than adults, and that is why the little ones have the amazing ability to pick up a language merely by hearing, which we don't. But we too, with practice, can learn much. Our Vedic philosophy says that even if Mozart was born with a gift, it was the consequence of his practice in previous lives. Nobody can achieve talent and mastery without practice in this life or the past ones. Chanakya Pandit gives a disclaimer there. In his Chanakya Niti, he states, Utsahavatam shatravopi vashi bhavanti nirutsaha daivam patitam. You may have been born with great talent, but if you don't practice, you will squander it all away. And no matter how poor your skill in any field, if you put in sufficient effort, you will be able to master it.